All right, so we're going to look at Kevin Durant leaving OKC to go to the Golden State Warriors. I definitely think it was a good move for him. A lot of people will disagree with me. I definitely looked at the fact that, what Stephen A. has said it was one of the weakest moves he ever seen. A lot of people were talking about it on social media, Facebook, Twitter and everything like that. But you got to look at why he left. I mean, honestly, he just left because he was tired. He was tired of losing. And he must have looked at the slogan, that it says, if you can't beat them, join them. I mean, and we're all graded, especially in the NBA, in sports, we're all graded upon whether they win championships or not. And obviously, he looked at two options. You had the Golden State Warriors that offered him, and you had maybe the Cavs has probably been the other place that he could have went. So he just wanted to go to a market where he can win. They would have been, think about it, because if he would have, never have gotten a championship, they would look at his legacy as far as saying that, he was one of the greatest to ever play the game and never gotten a championship. And obviously he wants to experience that. And like I said, he's tired. At the end of the day, he's a grown man. If he decides to go wherever he wants to go, honestly, he can go where it doesn't matter what me or anybody else say. And like I said, he just seemed like he was just tired. Yes, he was with another superstar in Westbrook, and they were on the cusp of beating they were on the cusp of beating Golden State Warriors. But they didn't. They was up 3-1, and I felt like he probably should have stayed another year. If they would have got him some help or something like that, it would have probably been okay. But you gotta look at and understand the fact that, he just wants to win. He wants to win a championship, and at the end of the day, if somebody is offering you to come there and play with them, and he don't have to have a lot of pressure on him. All you gotta do is come in there, score about 20 points a night, and he don't have to have all the pressure on him. I played basketball myself, and even in football, when you're the star and you have to do so much, but it feels great when you don't have to, score 3 touchdowns, or you don't have to score 30 points or something like that, and I play just like in pickup basketball, playing around, and you don't have to, guard the best player, or have to score 10 points or whatever like that, because you go to like 11, but you got to understand, like I said, why he did it, again, it's just business, we don't never get upset with these teams that just often just trade a player without even no knowledge, kind of like what the Bulls did with Derrick Rose. We always get upset that these players are just up and just want to join teams, but that's what we do when we play pickup basketball. Think about it. We pick the best 5, to play. Was actually pick 4. We pick them, so that's what they do. And just like in the NBA, he obviously wants to win a championship. And again, like I said, he's a grown man. If he wants to go somewhere and he feel like that give him the best chance to win, then he'll win. We can sit back here at the end of the day. Like I said, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if he makes it, they end up winning the championship, he's going to be happy. And people can sit back there and talk about him all they want, but he can say he experienced, the joy of having an NBA championship. And that's what they all play for, And teams right now, they're just in that era where they're just joining together. It was different. We go back in the day, back to Jordan's era, and they said Jordan would have never do that, but Jordan didn't start winning until Scottie Pippen came. A lot of people don't look at that. And it was definitely more competitive back then. But you got to look at it. that's what teams do now, kind of like when Boston did it. They came together to do a championship, and that's what they did. You have, the Spurs, they had a good organization. They came together. You look at the Miami Heat, you look at what LeBron just did. And at the end of the day, you give somebody 7 years. That's what LeBron did when he gave Cleveland 7 years before he left. And you look at, Kevin Durant, he gave them 7 years. And he hasn't gotten a championship, and he wants to win the championship. So, he definitely has a great chance of winning that, going to Golden State. So, and you just got to look at it. That's what teams are doing now. So, like I said, I think it was definitely a good move for him. For him, if he wants to win championships and he went somewhere that, he can go there and do what he has to do. And, he got Clay, Clay Thompson, Steve, got Curry there. So, definitely a championship team. They got rid of Barnes. They got rid of Bogut. We're going to have to see what they're going to do as far as, like, rebounding and everything like that. But, you're definitely going to, see what they got to do.